Anger. When we hear this word, it feels as if there are a lot of hot red chilies in it. It is described in Bhagavad Gita, 16th chapter, 21st verse as Trividham narkasyadam dvaram nashanam atmanaha kamaha krodas tatha lobhas tasmat etat trayam tyajet. It is described that anger is one of the gateways to hell. And it is also described that it has to be given up. Now, why is it so? What is the problem? What happens when we are angry? Now it comes in 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 63rd verse. It describes it very beautifully. It says, Krodad bhavati sammoha sammoha vismriti vibhramaha smriti bhrimshat buddhi nasho buddhi nashat pranashyati. It is described that when we are angry, we are taken into delusion. And this delusion leads to bewilderment of memory, and the bewilderment of memory leads to loss of intelligence. And by this, the person falls down. And we all have experienced this, isn't it? When we are angry, we shout, we yell, and we just give abusive words. And sometimes we get into physical fights which are fatal. There are instances where people have died because of anger fights, isn't it? And because of this, there is so much of bitterness which is there in relationships. Sometimes relations break. It is described that the bullet from the gun and the words of anger, they leave the source, kill the person and never return. And in fact, we have seen so many times after the repercussions of anger that the situation was not that important. It was trivial. It could have been ignored. But till we realize this point, it is too late. Then what is the solution for this? In our childhood, we had learned one concept of response and stimulus. And one beautiful example which was given was touch me not plant. Yes? If we remember, if we touch this plant, the leaves closes. So the stimulus is touching and the response is closing of the leaves. So in our case, the stimulus is the words and actions which hurt our ego, and the response is our anger. So there is a stimulus and there is a response. Now the stimulus, as soon as it comes, there is a response. Now, what if there is a stimulus, that is words and actions which hurt our ego, and the response, but there is a gap in between. Now in this gap, suppose we think that is this situation really that important? Really, is it needed to react, or it can be ignored? So in this gap, suppose if we start thinking like this, there are a lot of problems which will be solved. Now, if suppose we are able to create this gap in which we are able to think that is it needed or not, then we will not be reacting with anger, but we will be having intelligent actions against it. Now the question is, how to create this gap or how to create this space? Out of thorough research, it is seen that materially there are no ways in which we can create this gap. And it is also said by the great souls and by the learned ones and the experienced ones that this space can be created by spiritual practices. And the most profound spiritual practice is meditation. And the most effective meditation is mantra meditation. And by regularly practicing mantra meditation, we can create this space. And it is possible that instead of reacting in an angry way, we'll be able to deal the situation intelligently by having intelligent actions.